Hello, insert proper greeting for whatever time of day you may be watching this video at. How are we all doing today? Hope you're doing fantastic. You need to be able to control your emotions if you're trying to be a person that is becoming the best version of themselves. There's levels to this. Now, a lot of people think they're in control of their emotions, but anytime something happens to you throughout your daily life and you just have an instinctual response to it, like you don't really think before you respond to it. Like, say someone calls you fat and that makes you mad, so you say, no, screw you, F you, I'm not fat, you're fat, you stupid idiot. You are not in control of your emotions. Now, that's a pretty obvious example, but at any moment when you react to something with no hesitation, without any kind of internal monologue or internal thought process, oftentimes it's a fraction of a second or, a few seconds where you stop and pause before responding to somebody you're having a conversation with, whatever it may be. But I mean, there's full-grown children out there right now. A vast majority of our population are fully grown adult children going about life, flailing their arms around, throwing temper tantrums when things don't go their way. And it's on the flip side too, right? When good things happen, like oftentimes people will not be in control of their emotions either. On this side of the spectrum, though, oftentimes it's not necessarily like a harmful negative reaction that stems from this, but it can be. Someone might get a really big pay raise, or they get a huge bonus from work, and instead of thinking it through, being smart about it, throwing it in savings, or upping their monthly saving quota, investing quota, whatever it may be, they go out and they buy a new car, or maybe they even buy a new house, new TV. I mean, could be literally anything. It doesn't just have to be words. Like, it can be your actions, whether they directly affect someone or if they're just affecting you in a negative way. You need to learn to control your emotions. The way I've learned to do this is, throughout my daily life, I try my absolute best to not just let my subconscious respond to things. There's a few exceptions. Like, one is when the alarm goes off in the morning, right? Like, I just subconsciously sit up, smack that button, turn it off, get out of bed, right? Like, that's ingrained in me. But that's a good thing to just let your subconscious control right there, right? Things that you shouldn't let your subconscious control is if a coworker or your boss or anyone, a friend, a loved one, approaches you, says something to you, asks something of you, or asks you to explain something, right? Like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? What was your reasoning behind this? Our instinct is oftentimes to become defensive and defend our position. Don't yield, don't give any ground, when in reality, though, a lot of the times we're being defensive towards people that we really don't need to be defensive towards. A lot of the times people aren't even trying to accuse us or claim that we did something wrong, or people aren't trying to point fingers, right? But we just assume they are. A lot of the times people are just genuinely curious, which we should be. As human beings, we should be trying to learn, because nobody out there doesn't have something to offer to you to learn. There's a 4-year-old kid in India that I guarantee could teach all of us a couple things, right? And there's probably a 70-year-old lady somewhere in India too that could teach us a couple things at the very least. Do you get the point I'm getting at here? So we should, first of all, stop approaching our daily interactions with friends, family, loved ones, significant others, strangers. Stop approaching all of these interactions as though, people are pointing fingers at us or claiming we did something wrong or not the best, whatever. People aren't always pointing fingers at us. They're actually very rarely pointing fingers at us. They're actually just, they're coming to us with question marks above their heads, not to demean or tear us down, but to build themselves up, hopefully. That's That's what I'm hoping for when I ask people questions, when I'm trying to, get some clarification from whoever on whatever. So stop assuming, the world is out to get you. Stop assuming people are looking for every opportunity to just tear you down and break you down, and belittle you. Some people are, though, and you do have to be careful. That's where it comes in. Someone asks you a question, or just anything in general happens in your daily life, whether that's somebody asking you a question, whether somebody freaking T-bones you when you're driving, right? Or whether it's your dog taking a fat duke on the carpet when you're at work, right? And you come home to find that, and you already had a super long day at work. It's real easy to just instinctively react and let our emotions, let our subconscious take over and just do whatever it pleases, because it's been programmed into us. No matter what it is, whenever anything happens to you in life, whether it's good or bad, whether you view it as good or bad, just take a step back, take a second or two or five. It's okay. If you're talking to somebody and you aren't sure how to respond, or you don't have an answer, if you don't know how to respond, it's okay to take 5-10 seconds to just ponder and think about it. You don't want to just spew out the first thing that comes to mind. You want to give them a legitimate, good, sound answer that's going to bring them benefit, right? That's the point of having conversations. It's to exchange information and share viewpoints, share opinions, grow as people, right? But take a step back with your brain in the moment. Think, how does this make me feel? Whatever just happened, how do I feel right now? And then say, why do I feel that way? And then ask yourself if that's like a reasonable response, right? Things that happen to us on a daily basis are going to make us mad. They're going to make us frustrated. They're going to, negative things happen to us on a daily basis. But we control how we display that energy from that emotion. It's really easy when someone cuts you off in traffic to, start cursing them out, flip them off, whatever it may be, but try to assume the flip side. Like, maybe they just cut you off in traffic because they're running really late for something super important. Might be a super important interview for them. Someone might be giving birth, medical emergency, or maybe they're just having a really bad day and they're letting their emotions get the best of them too. That's another thing, is oftentimes we'll be doing perfectly fine, but then somebody else will come along that is just letting their emotions fly all over the place and doesn't have a care in the world, doesn't care who they're bleeding on, so to say, doesn't care who they're impacting negatively, and then a lot of the times like that will start bleeding out into other people, and that will force others into their own subconscious mind and negative reactions, thought patterns, and it's just a really big and painful, unnecessary, ongoing, kind of feedback loop. It's very easy to just let this happen to you. It's very hard to deprogram yourself and be the bigger person, so to say. Take a step back, think things all the way through, look at them from both sides. And really, at the end of the day, for me, it's just, will this reaction do anything helpful for me? 99% of the time, reacting to something with your negative emotions is not going to produce anything positive for you, and especially not for the other person, right? How many times has somebody yelled at you? I'm talking yelled, like screamed, cursed you out, made you feel like a piece of shit, straight up. Maybe even called you a piece of shit. Did that motivate you to, take action and make serious change in your life, correct whatever action you just took, or actions you took? Does that make you want to just flip a new page and become a new person? No, a lot of the times you want to double down and you want to really, they can't talk to me that way. Let me show them. And then now you're in it. You're going the distance. You're going all 12 rounds with your boss or your significant other or one of your parents, or it doesn't matter who. But at the end of the day, that's just going to damage both of you. It's going to damage your relationship. You're going to become less productive. You're going to be thinking about it. It's going to take up a lot of your mental headspace, your mental bandwidth, so you can't really do other things as well as you should be doing them, as well as you want to do them, as well as other people expect you to be doing them, it just has no positive benefit, no positive payout. So you need to separate yourself from your emotions. Don't separate yourself from your emotions, because again, the other side of the coin is like, you can't just turn off your emotions. You can't just force yourself to be numb. You can try, but they're still going to be there. You have to feel your emotions and you have to process them, but you can't let them escape you and splatter all over those around you, right? That is a great way to ruin relationships. That's a great way to lose friends. That's a great way to push people away from you. That's a great way to build up a very negative rapport, very negative image. People are going to start to know you as the dude with some anger issues, or the girl with some anger issues. People are going to call you immature. People, doors are going to start closing on you. And they're going to get locked, and people aren't going to want to open them back up again. It's very, very hard to repair a negative image. It's very hard to change the way people think about you. That's why first impressions are important. And it's important that you are a consistent person. You act in the way that you want other people to view you all the time, or 99% of the time, as often as you humanly can. And again, we all slip, we all mess up, but that's another part of this too, is when your emotions do slip through the cracks, when you do take out some anger on other people who you really didn't mean to, you shouldn't, you didn't want to, whether or not the negative thoughts, negative emotions stemmed from them specifically or not, it's important to own up to your mistakes. As a mature person, as a mature adult, as a mature human being trying to become the best version of themselves. My God, it is windy. As somebody trying to become the best version of themselves in every aspect of life, we must own up to our mistakes in all areas. But when we especially freak out on somebody, or might not even be a freak out, but just in whatever way negative emotions spill out and harm others around us, we need to be able to own up to that. We need to be able to say, hey, I messed up. That's my bad. Like, this is what I did. I really didn't mean to. That's not who I am. I apologize sincerely. It's not going to happen again. You have my word. And then you make damn sure it doesn't happen again. Because, whatever you need, guys. I mean, if you got a punching bag at home and when you get home, you need to just let that thing have it for 5 minutes, I'll stand by it. Like, I don't condone or support violence, but like doing it in a controlled environment, like mixed martial arts classes or whatever it may be, just a punching bag at home, like it can be a very, very good stress reliever in a controlled, safe environment. The intent is never we're not seeking to intentionally harm anybody ever. If you're doing that, we need to have a serious talk. But that's never the intent. But if you're using it in a controlled environment where it's like a stress reliever, it's just a way to unplug from the world, forget all the stresses and the worries of life for an hour or two, whatever it may be, if you're going to a class, or, just 10-15 minutes at home when you get home from work, on the bag, whatever. That's the other thing too. If you're doing it at home on your own, please buy some gloves, and please learn somehow, some way how to throw a good punch so you don't frickin' break your hands, because that'll piss you off too, I guarantee it. But guys, I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but we were on the way to Costco during this video and we have arrived. So I'll just leave it there. I don't want to force this on any longer than I feel it should be, Get in control of your emotions, take a step back when something happens that you feel that inner anger, that inner shadow side of you welling up and swelling up and getting ready to come out and attack. Take a step back, understand what you're feeling, understand why you're feeling it, and ask yourself, is this valid? I guarantee 99% of the time you're going to say, this is really stupid. Why was I even like ever getting anywhere near doing something like that or responding in this way? And, you know, just be a bigger person. When you do mess up, admit to it, come forward, you know, apologize, look people in their eyes and sincerely apologize. You start doing that, and it's going to change how people look at you real quick. It's hard to shift people's image of you, how they see you, how they view you, the impression you give them. But that's one really good way to do that in a hurry with a lot of people anyways. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching once again. I appreciate it very much, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.